We're the tech committee. We understand when things happen. We know that. All right. Has anybody heard from Lamar? Is he coming tonight?
He has not.
Start reporting. Kick it off. All right. So we are now at 6:39 p.m. starting the meeting this evening. First of all, I would like to, before we review the meeting notice, I would like to welcome Kathy to us, our new Ward 5. That's what I was going to say. And I was like, wait a minute, I'm a little tired. So is going to be our new representative. So welcome.
Thank you.
To council. Welcome to the technology committee. And what we were getting the Zoom call set, I was giving some updates kind of as to where we've been, what we've been working on. But I thought it'd be helpful for you if we all did some quick introductions and a little bit of background so you kind of know who we are. I went through, you've got my background in here. Joe, you want to give her a quick update on?
Yeah, I mean, I have a managed service IT consulting company. Service about 50 customers between 20 to 500 users around Pittsburgh, and I've been doing that for 18 years now.
Mm-hmm. So thanks. Mike, you want to go next?
Welcome. I will say it's good to know that I'm not the newest member of the committee anymore. This is my third meeting, I think.
Yeah.
I'm a veteran compared to you. My name is Michael Arendt, and I'm the Director of Educational Technology at the University of Pittsburgh. So welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Great. And Craig?
I'm Craig Schenker. I do mostly security consulting now, focused on cloud stuff, and been a McCandless pretty much my whole life, except for a couple of years when I moved away. I was at NAI 20 years ago when you were a principal there. Good to see you again.
Nice to see you.
Great.
Yes, Joe, you
25?
were there. You were there, Joe.
No, more than 25. 27 next year.
He remembers you, Joe. No, he was a good guy. He had to be. His father would have kept him.
They had no choice on that one. All right. Did everybody get a chance to review the meeting minutes from last month?
Yep.
I think it's all good. The one thing, I know we said we were going to start the this is not good that I should be doing this the day after being up all day. The website work. What we said second quarter. Did we pick a date for a website? Do you remember?
I don't know that we really did. Well, we did talk. We did talk about the fact that the first quarter would not necessarily be good for John.
Right.
So I do remember having a conversation that said we probably would be pushing that off to later into the year. So I think second quarter is reasonable. Okay. For us to be.
Right. That's what I just. Yeah, I noticed you said that, and I just couldn't remember if we had put a specific date on that.
I don't know that we did. It was just some general conversation.
Okay. All right, then
that pulled us in that direction, but I don't know that we ever got specific.
We'll hold that thought, and we'll get to that when we get to that point. Then,
okay.
I would say any changes or updates to the minutes then. Okay, then I would say the minutes are approved from last time. Okay, and I do think this could be a fairly short meeting because most of this is updates. Okay, if you've got questions, just we'll fill you in. So first of all, for the enterprise software update, we do have one more demo coming up, and are we confirmed for the 16th?
Not yet. I sent her the message.
Okay.
That we were all good for the 16th, and she has not responded as of yet.
Okay. So the tentative date for that for everybody is November 16th. Like we've done in the past, we'll make sure that you all have a chance to join if you can for as much or as little as you can. So And I think that's probably it on the, we've got the money that's in the budget for it. A lot of that, Kathy, was rollover because we had initially thought we would be further along. But this year has just kind of been an interesting year, as I think we all know. So, we've rolled some over into next year. Right, Bob? Any other comments on that?
No, I mean, I think the only thing, and, Tricia and I tried to explain a lot of what we were working on as part of the budget reviews that we did. I think what part of the delay has been just the amount of time that it's actually taken us to get set up with demos, the back and forth that went along with the RFI that we never really expected. There was a lot more back and forth there than what we would have anticipated. And actually going to a second demo now with Edmunds.
Yes, we did.
Slowed the process down, but I think it was a good move to do. And some discussions with other managers about products that they're using led us to Springbrook, the demo that we're going to have on the 16th.
Right.
So
Is it similar in pricing to Edmunds? Do we even?
we're
Vaguely.
anticipating it being slightly higher
Okay,
than Edmunds,
but not Tyler higher.
not Tyler higher. The concern that we have with Edmunds is the annual cost.
Yeah.
The annual cost was much higher than what we would have expected. But well,
And I don't remember if you were here, but for businesses of your size running kind of an ERP package, it kind of falls in line with what you'd see in other industries.
yeah,
So, I mean, you might have expected it, but I don't think it's overly expensive for what it does.
okay.
So those are the types of things that we've been doing. I think that we have done, because this is a significant expenditure as well as a significant amount of time it's going to take as well. It's kind of the core of the internal functionings from a financial perspective. I would agree with Bob that the extra time has been worthwhile, really pursuing to make sure that we've got the right solution for the town and that we're doing the right, we're not just moving into this too quickly.
And for a lot of aspects, you're into it for 10 years.
Yeah.
Once you start, I mean, you're not gonna
Right.
Right. We're not going to change
change
again.
it for a
Right.
while, if ever.
Yeah.
Although everything changes in technology.
Yeah.
Not going to change it during my tenure here.
We're going to do this once.
One time.
Yes. So any other questions or comments then on the enterprise software, what we're doing? Any other questions you've got? Okay. Then now we will pick up what we put on hold there for a minute. On the website update, you said, I'd like to just put a date, so just then it doesn't roll, right? So that we've got a target as to when we want to launch this, because we're going to need to go to council ahead of time if we're going to do a kind of a McCandless and me to get feedback. And I'd like to be able to work back towards, when we want to launch it. Are you thinking like April 1st?
I'm thinking more along the lines of May 1st or June 1st, only because if we're able to secure an intern,
Mm-hmm.
that intern would be working January in through April or toward May. And I want to give that intern enough time to be working with John and getting that.
Okay.
So, I mean, I think we can be done prior to that, but I'd like to make sure that we utilize all the skills and abilities of the intern if we're able to get one.
Okay. So you're thinking, and when I say the website update start, like the reaching out to the community, you're thinking to start that then May 1st?
Reaching out into the community may start as early as April 1st.
Okay.
I mean, to start getting some real feedback.
Yeah,
I was thinking that you meant going live with. it.
no, 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 no,
Oh,
I'm, no,
oh,
no, 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 no,
No,
no,
no, I'm sorry, then, yes.
Yeah,
I
no.
would say probably April 1st because we'd want the intern involved in that.
Well, because that's what I was thinking, is if we're gonna have an intern, if we're gonna kick off a McCandless and Me project, what I was thinking is, when is the date you want that thing to kick off? Because we have to do before that, then we kind of need to make sure that we've got, have given input as to what that McCandless and Me project should look like. We'll need to go to do an official project with council, right, since we're reaching out to the community. So I wanted to kind of work backwards. If we want to launch by X date, this is what we needed to be doing. Does that make sense?
Mhm. I'm picturing a calendar in my head.
I figured you, yeah,
The only comment I have there, if I may,
absolutely.
is the fact that, and I'm sure there are other members of the council who probably asked the same question. And that is, what is the job description of that intern? What actually is that intern going to be doing? If you don't put that down,
Right.
people just say, "Psh, blow it off." They have to be very specific as to what they're doing.
Mhm.
You know, and if that's not there and they can see it,
Right.
it probably wouldn't go through.
And I have John Pajarski working on
Working on, yeah.
that
Okay.
description.
Maybe one of the things we could try and, what we could do, Bob, is if he could get that done so that our next meeting in December 1st, or that first Wednesday in December, we could kind of review it
Okay.
and see if we had any other comments, just, and if he's got it done earlier, we can get it out to us, but I'd like to make sure that,
Sure.
if, we've got anything to add to it.
Yeah, he's already working on it because of the
Okay.
question that came up during the budget meetings.
Yes,
So he and I haven't had a chance to finalize anything.
okay.
Do you think should we start the McCandless and Me project like mid to late March, do you think?
We could. We can start it.
Because if an intern would start in January, that would give them a month and a half to 2 months to look over the existing site, start to map it out, and be able to help us develop the project for McCandless and Me in terms of what we're going to be looking for. So I wouldn't say before mid-March.
Okay, so let's keep up this. Let me pull up my calendar.
You're basically saying like 2 months after the intern would start.
What I'm thinking.
Okay, so
Does that seem reasonable?
yeah.
Yeah.
So March is, because again, you know me, I'd like to have a date to launch it. So do you want to pick March 14th? Because then we need to work backwards as to when do we need to go in front of council with a project?
You would want to go in front of council either the 22nd of February. No, wait.
That's a
Wait,
Tuesday.
The 7th, or
Sorry.
the 21st, or the 7th,
It'd be the 28th,
28th and 14th. Yeah.
28th and 14th. So I would go to 28th.
Okay, so council, so we need everything ready for council for the February 28th meeting. And we would have a March 14th launch. I just want to make sure we've got the right timeline since we have holidays coming up.
Yeah,
And then for our next meeting, or prior to that, if John's got the intern description that he's thinking, he's got that done and could send it to us, or at least we review it at the latest at our next meeting.
Okay.
Is that fair?
Mhm.
In January, we would do the actual project plan.
Yeah, January
Yeah.
meeting, we'd start.
We would do it, and then, I mean, in theory, if we do it in January, you could go whatever the second January meeting is, I mean,
24th.
24th. So, I mean, in theory, you have it and it could be presented as early as the January 24th
If we're all ready.
if it was ready. If you know, if you get an intern that
It's just
starts early in the
wrap it up,
month and
yeah.
barrels through it and is ready to go,
Yeah, we could do it, we can do it earlier.
we'll have it done from here, and then you could just take it to council whenever.
Yeah. Sound good, guys? Craig,
Mhm.
Michael? Okay, good. Okay, good. I feel better now that we have some dates for the next steps on the website. And as part of that, Kathy, we actually pay, we pay for our website and hosting. We also pay for Savvy Citizen. We also pay for McCandless and Me. And what we'd like to do as part of all of this is consolidate it down to and get rid of some of the duplication that we have out there. That's the plan. Okay. Any other comments, questions, thoughts on the website?
Oh, related, I have talked to LaRoche and to Pittsburgh Technical.
Good.
So they're both aware of what we're looking for, and we'll get that description to them.
Okay. Depending on how we write it, my guess is we're going to get a couple of different slants, be either LaRoche or Pittsburgh Technical.
Yeah.
So
Pittsburgh Technical will be the more
technical.
technical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, if we're trying to focus more on content and things like that, we may end up going towards LaRoche as opposed to PTC, but
Mhm.
we'll see how that plays out with John's description, and then we'll focus in on.
That sounds good. Now, one of the things for LaRoche, some of, maybe we might be talking, are the PTC folks, we have to pay them? Are they billable?
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
Not necessarily.
So that's kind of the other thought is,
What you'll find in the technology one is you have to pay them.
yeah,
I mean, the technology interns
Yeah,
you have to pay
get
'em.
paid.
Yeah, they get
generally.
paid, but I'm not sure LaRoche, a communications major,
wouldn't necessarily.
wouldn't necessarily. So for content, that's just as we think through this, there might be a way to maximize. And maybe we're talking about two different people.
Well, and I just want to make sure that with whatever we do, overall,
Mm-hmm.
that they have proper oversight.
Correct. Yeah.
So that's one of the things that I want to be sure of.
Right.
In all of this.
Well, as I said, over the next month, we can narrow this down and the rest of it.
Okay.
And when you reached out to LaRoche, did you reach out from a tech perspective or more of a
Communication.
communications? Okay.
Yeah, because I think it's probably right. The first part's probably more communication.
Yeah.
But you might, when you get into some of that PTC graphic, there's some crossover with some of the graphic design
Yeah.
stuff.
So it may be that there's two different things sitting
Mm-hmm.
there. But I think even with what we purposely budgeted some money for
Right.
internships in general. Right now, I'm just making sure that whoever we end up with, whatever kinds of interns that we have staff that can work with them.
Right. Because one of the things is, John is just a person You know, if we're gonna be doing this, redo this website, we gotta be able to keep the content fresh. And so how do we, help get some help potentially to continue to make updates and the rest of that? 'Cause
Stamps.
yeah, so
Are we
that's,
just limiting ourselves to just LaRoche and, do you think?
No, they were just the ones that immediately were discussed at the last meeting. I mean, anybody local would be beneficial, somebody even from Slippery Rock or one of the major universities here in town. I think I might avoid Carnegie Mellon only because they're at another level altogether.
And
By
then,
and large.
yeah, there's probably differences too, because like PTC, since it's built into the curriculum, like
Yes.
you would get them for 12 or 16 weeks, depending on which one.
Right.
And you would just have them continuously versus the Roche might be. It could be either way.
Yeah.
And LaRoche was more from the communications.
Well, that could be a day a week.
Yeah, kind of something to give them, and that way it wouldn't necessarily, I would think, would not you be paid. I know when my daughter was a communications major at BU, they were internships and that not paid. So, that's just a thought we've been kicking around. All right, anything else then? See what John has put together then for our next
Nothing else on that.
meeting. Okay, great. Another piece that we're looking at is updating the phone system so that you can do voice over IP. Any updates, any help you guys want? This?
No, nothing in particular, just talking to some different companies to make sure that we have good information as we're moving forward on that process. And I probably, once we're down the road a little bit, these folks want to like hit the ground running right now. No, we're waiting until next year. Part of this is going to be timing.
Mhm.
I want to make sure that we're not trying to get all of these things and that they're all going at the same time.
Right.
So I want to try to
Well, that's
schedule
what,
that
that was
out
gonna be
a
my
little
next question. Is
Yeah.
when you thought you might want to be targeting. So this might be like a summer kind of thing.
I would think that probably it would make sense to do that.
Okay.
Only because it will give us some time to plan out
Okay.
what we want to do. And I think when I have a better sense of some different companies' capabilities and what they would offer, I'll come back to you folks
Okay.
with
Okay.
some of the information so that we can point projects in the right direction.
Okay, great. So do we want to just pull it off the agenda for a couple months and throw it back on in like the February timeframe? Get through some of this other stuff? What are your,
That'd be fine with me.
okay. Because there's no sense just having a lag there and us just saying, yeah. Nothing else. Any other comments, questions on the phone system? All right, and then on other business, just a couple, did we ever hear anything on the grants for the body cams?
Nothing.
Nothing,
were
for
checking
both of them.
For both of them. And we were actually on the Department of Justice site last week looking. And we didn't see any update from them. It's surprising.
That is surprising.
Because we were looking there just because of budgetary
Right,
needs. But at this point, there's been no announcement.
okay, so that's still on hold.
Yeah, we even went back and did some email searches with the
Yeah,
emails where they normally are coming in, just to make sure that we didn't miss something, and have not heard anything yet.
that's, yeah, because you had expected that
Yeah, we,
2 months ago.
at least at least by October.
Yeah. I think it's September, October.
Yeah,
And that, Kathy, is our officers do not have body cams. So we're trying to leverage grants in order to get the cameras.
the grants were a 50-50 match.
Okay, so I guess we're still waiting. We'll give it another month and see what a plan B might be.
Well, Plan B is that we do have the money budgeted
Okay,
for the full
for the full thing.
full thing. So that would be Plan B. So we're ready to go. We'd be using some of the stimulus. money
Stimulus money
for
for
that.
that.
So I guess it's still federal money. but,
It is, yeah. When do you think you're gonna make a decision?
Probably within a few weeks.
Okay. Because we'll just obviously need to make sure we've got the right infrastructure.
Yes.
Because we won't get involved in the the cameras are pretty standard cameras, but they gotta make sure we got the right back end system, enough power and the rest of that to,
And that's all probably on shortage right now.
yeah, that's one of the things I'm a little
Probably
concerned.
take 3
Yeah.
or 4 months to,
The last we heard was a 6 to 8 week
I'm sure it's longer
turnaround,
than
which
that.
I thought that was being a little
Yeah,
optimistic. But if we can, we would place the order from a budgetary standpoint, we
Right.
would place the order this year.
okay.
So that's part of the plan.
Okay, so we'll have at least get the order placed. So
Yeah, we
can
just-
use this
We
year's
just can't
money.
place an order until we know about the grant,
Yeah, exactly.
or else we lose the grant money.
We don't want to lose the grant
No.
money. We really do not want to lose the grant money. Not a 50-50. Okay. The other thing is I did check with North Allegheny. They still do not have an IT director. I talked
Yeah,
to,
they have an interim, but
yeah,
there was no sense in
there's,
speaking with her.
there's no sense. I spent quite a bit of time with Allison Minton yesterday. So, yeah, no, there still isn't anybody. And the reason, Kathy, that is we have the community channel 98, Comcast channel 98. And we do not have a contract with NA. That NA is using and taking our feeds and broadcasting the town council meetings after the day, like a couple days afterwards.
2 days.
It's on Wednesday, yeah, that they get broadcasted. And at some point, if they ever do hire another IT director, because they haven't had anybody since the summer, then we'll get a contract together. And there is some money that the town has agreed to use to compensate that came from Comcast. So we have the money until they hire somebody and we can work together on a contract for that. So that's details on that one.
Is that so they'll put other things on there too?
Yeah, they'll put other things. And that gets down to the kind of the whole communication strategy. What I'd like to see would be, once we get a website, and give John some more tools. Did he ever get his new Mac?
Yeah,
Oh, is that the new one?
This is the old one.
Oh, that's the
Yeah, the
old, that's
new-
why the old one here, because he has the new one. Yay. So as part of the money from Comcast when we signed the
So
agreement.
technically NA has a contract with Comcast.
no,
We do.
We do, but NA
we have
doesn't.
the,
NA runs their own TV station.
right.
They run the public TV station.
but they
Channel.
essentially used the
They,
license or agreement or whatever you
Our-
wanna call
Yeah,
it from McCandless.
the town negotiated with Comcast to provide a educational and governmental
Yeah.
channel.
Tag
And
channels.
then when we negotiate a franchise agreement, part of that agreement was a franchise grant that is to be used to provide funding for a cable channel or
Right, for the content,
information.
yeah.
So That's what we're trying to negotiate with the school district now, is how that money will be distributed and used over time.
Yeah, we'd use some of it to upgrade the equipment that John had for rendering video and camera and that kind of stuff, so we could be creating content. That wasn't all that much, but there was like 38 grand.
It was
wasn't
38.
It was
that
38,
we
wasn't it?
received.
Is what we got from Comcast. So that's just kind of been,
Can I see the contract that you guys negotiated with the school district?
the old one. Because we don't have a new one. The to-do is sitting in their hands in order to come up with a draft of what they're requesting to get to us. So the to-do sits in their hands at this point. And until they have an IT director, because this all falls under their IT department, is where the video, the rest of that falls under. Any other business? And Michael, I saw your note, so we'll talk about that in just a second. Anything else anybody else has? Bob?
I did want to let the committee know that we held 4 different sessions for employees today on cybersecurity.
Oh, good.
PM Computing put on a good program, I think, on that.
Mhm.
The other thing that I wanted to make you aware of is that we have set up dual authentication for emails, the email accounts for the town employees and elected officials. And we are going to be rolling out dual authentication for logging into the network system as well.
Good.
So that will add to the security level.
Great. Good. Okay, so now that we are starting to get into, you know, oh, wait a minute. You guys flashed there for a second.
Yeah, I saw that.
Now that we are getting into really some more active projects, I think it is time to get going again on the documents that we've got. What do we have? It's not in Teams, SharePoint, Team SharePoint or whatever, because we've got new committee members. You know, as we're going now to start doing some more analysis on the enterprise software, and especially as we start kicking off this website project, we have gotten just a wee bit like, well, it hasn't been just, we're a small group, and now that we're a big group again, to do more collaboration. We've just been trading emails back and forth. So, but we do have SharePoint. So if you could just make sure that everybody's got access to that, and we can start putting minutes and agendas and stuff out there. That would be good. I think that's Michael, what you said in your email. I didn't read the whole thing. I just saw the very beginning of it.
Yes, that's exactly what I was looking for. That's terrific. Thank you.
Yeah. All right.
Do we want to use SharePoint since,
There's one out there. I mean, we
There
used
is
it
one out
happily
there.
at the
Yeah, I mean-
beginning, and then we kind of,
because if we use SharePoint, we can edit documents.
Yes. Yes. We did that when we were doing the
original.
original
Yeah.
stuff, the RFP, the
Yeah.
consulting work and that rest of that. And it's time to kick that off again, because we're going to
Okay.
be getting into that.
Okay.
All right, those are the things that I just wanted to bring up tonight. Does anybody else have anything?
Yeah, I had one thing I was thinking about, electronics recycling, specifically the waste management at your door service. I know that contract's expiring, I believe, at the end of December. Has there been any progress towards a new trash collection contract? And do you know if it's going to include electronics recycling?
We have signed a new contract with Waste Management. It includes electronics at the door collection.
Ah, nice.
And I signed off on the state permit 2 weeks ago.
Good,
So we're all set.
good.
Thanks. I was going to suggest if it was going away, then we should send out a message telling people to get rid of their electronics while they can.
We're still good.
Perfect. Thanks.
Though we probably should slide it in there in December and remind everybody it's there when we
Yeah,
get all the fancy new electronics.
yeah.
Yeah.
Clean out your house
Right.
before Christmas.
Yeah. And that just brings up one other thing is we have been doing, we did a number of articles for the town crier and things. Is there any other topics coming up that we should be thinking about? For McMail, town can you guys think of anything that we should be planning for early 2022? We've hit 5G. We did a couple on cybersecurity. So we didn't do any this month, but I just ask you to think about it as you keep your eyes and ears open as you see stuff. When we get ready to relaunch a website, of course, we'll have a big splash about that. But there's always topics that are coming up, IT related things. So if you think of something, or if if you're talking to constituents and the rest of it.
You put this out for the community?
Yeah.
One of the things that parents probably are not aware of, that if their children are caught doing something illegal or immoral or anything on the internet, that and they're convicted of something, keep them out of college. No college has to accept them.
Oh, really?
Yep. I mean, I can't strive that enough.
Yeah.
Because kids they're clueless. They just think, they do a lot of the sexting and all this, and now they're starting to do other things on the internet, which, everyone talks about the instant messaging and all that, but what they don't realize is the colleges do not have to accept them.
Ah.
Right, if you want, I can get you the paperwork on that where it talks about that.
Yeah, if you could, and maybe we can try and do something.
I just think it behoove it to parents, because I don't think they're aware of it. Were you aware of it, Joe?
Yeah, but I deal with the school, so I'm kind of up on a lot of those.
Yeah, so maybe if you could send that, and then we can think, how do we maybe flush it out into something that's another safety, online safety kind of thing or something. We'll think about it. That'd be great.
Okay.
Anything else? Okay, do I hear a motion that we adjourn, and we're adjourning early? So how about that?
Motion to adjourn.
Do I hear a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, great. All right, I will say we are adjourned. Everybody have a great month. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and we'll see you all in December.
Thanks, you too.
All right, take care.
Thanks for making the effort to include us.
Yep. Right.